you by Bethel College School of Technology. Learn more at bethelcollege.edu/Ken. Here's a CBS News article that I want to break down. I think it's important. Headline: middle-class jobs are shrinking, and these could one day disappear. There are almost all of these are in the middle class that we're going to go over, obviously. And we're talking about pay from $40,000 on the low end to right around $100,000, a bit over $100,000 a year. And in this particular group of professions, in that demographic of income, the forecast from the Department of Labor shows that they will shed more than 600,000 jobs by 2033 in this particular area. We're going to break this down for you. And you're going to see here a heavy dose of clerical workers. Now, before I go through this, workers that remain in these particular occupations will have to have skills to adapt to new technology, such as artificial intelligence or other forms of automation. Okay? So here we go. I'm not going to go through all these. Let's just go through some of the top 10. Office clerks. They're going to see a reduction of 147,000 jobs through 2033. First-line supervisors of retail sales workers. I'm not going to go through the amount of jobs every time. This is all adding up to, obviously, 600,000 jobs. First-line supervisors of office and administrative support workers. So I want to stop there. We have two different categories, and what you're seeing is first-line supervisors. Okay? So that right there is an interesting indicator of a trend. It doesn't matter whether they're retail sales workers or they are administrative support workers. We are talking about that line of management. Okay? So if you've got a manager of a store, maybe we call them the overall manager, and then you have shift managers. So we're talking about shift managers. Whatever that title is, that first front line of management, we could call it middle management in this situation, gone. You're going to see an efficiency there. That's interesting. Let's keep going. Metal and plastic machine workers. So again, this is where AI and robots and automation is going to come in and really affect these workers. Financial clerks. These are numbers people crunching numbers. Again, AI and programming, going to be able to crunch numbers a lot easier, a lot faster. Material recording clerks. Bill and account collectors. Quality control inspectors. So, again, I'm just highlighting about 8 of the top 10 here. What do we see? Where you can essentially write code and create an AI program, and where an artificial intelligence, some type of bot or a program, can do what other people have previously done and do it faster and a lot more efficient, removing human error, that's where you're going to see a shift, okay? But again, just because you're in this field doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to make a living. You may have to adjust and add some skill sets. Because remember this, computers can only do what humans allow them to do, or program to do, or tell them what to do, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, now let's keep going for a quick analysis, and then I'm going to come back here in a minute, and I'm going to tell you the middle-class jobs that they're forecasting growth, okay? Because there's some good news here. Now, let's look at technology jobs, okay? Because as technology advances, you will have a shift of technology workers who they were paid at one point to do A, and now no longer needed to do A, but they can be shifted, or they can pivot, if you will, into technology work to do B, okay? And that's what you're going to see. This Bureau of Labor Statistics report is forecasting that computer programmers will shed 10% of their workers by 2033. The main reason, automation, is making coders more efficient, and so you're requiring fewer programmers. However, the same report says that the economy will add more than 300,000 new software developers in the next decade. Okay, so again, You're not kicked out of an industry. You're just going to have to shift. You're going to have to pivot. And again, this is important to point out. The world of work right now is rapidly changing. And I think we will now have a new pace at which work evolves. In other words, the way I'm putting this is, and I believe this, work from the dawn of time until now, as technology comes in, the way work evolves is evolving faster. And then I think from the dawn of time to now, there have been certain periods where we see accelerated changes in the world of work. One, for example, would be the use of the internet. I mean, imagine how quickly our world at work, those who've been working long enough to remember when there was an internet. And I mean, Bob, I age myself here, but when I went to college, there was no internet. I know that freaks you out, Alex, but that's how old I am. I went to college, there was no internet. We didn't have laptops. We were using MS-DOS. Okay? So imagine how the world of work changed when the internet came in. I was there. I was probably 19, 20, first time I got on a computer with internet, and I'm working on a campaign, and the way we did work was like, it changed the game. All right, so there are seasons of history where, and I think with where we are in AI, I think the next 2 or 3 years is one of those times of history we'll look back on and say the world of work rapidly changed in this season. And as a result, every time we see massive changes, then the speed of which work evolves is faster every time. So every time we come through a more major significant, oh, wow, work evolved. Well, guess what? The pace quickens. So here's what I'm getting at. Make sure that you are upskilling and staying up to date with what you need to know. Like I remember 10 years ago, it was like, oh, you need to be able to use Microsoft Excel. That's a joke now. I mean, I guess you still got to be able to use it, but that was like a big skill. Well, so now you're going to have to be able to use AI. You're just going to have to be able to deal with it and use it. So there you go. All right, let me move into some good news. How many of you want some good news really quick? I'm going to roll through this in about a minute. Okay, here are the same report. Where are the middle class jobs growing? Medical assistants, light truck drivers. Now, let me explain that. That's not your 18-wheelers, barreling down the interstate. This is light truck drivers. That's your local, your regional stops. Construction laborers. Substance abuse, behavioral disorder, and mental health counselors. Heavy tractor-trailer truck drivers. Electricians. Accountants. Registered nurses. Analysts. And general and operation managers. Now, folks, those are what we calling middle-class jobs. We're talking about on the low range, 40,000, high range, a little bit over 100,000. Those are growing. Did you see what's happening there? This is the anti-AI. We need medical assistants to help a ever-increasingly burdened healthcare system, doctors and nurses. Truck drivers. Everybody's ordering something off a freaking website. Amazon's changed the game. Now you're ordering from your local business guy and they're dropping stuff off. Construction laborers. Gotta have them. Gotta have them to build houses, build buildings. Substance abuse, behavioral disorder, mental health counselors, heavy tractor trailer, electricians, accountants, registered nurses, analysts, managers, leaders. Guess what's happening here? Every one of these middle-class jobs that's growing has nothing to do with technology. It has everything to do with people. Only things that people can do. Everybody relax. AI, the big bad monster, is not going to kick you out of the workforce. You're just going to have to adapt to it. Good news, though, for middle class. We can get this economy straightened out. We'll see. Launch your tech career today at bethelcollege.edu/Ken.